Hello, friends. Welcome to night 3 of my video series, Getting Ready for Stampin' Up's Celebration 2025. Tonight, we are going to not make elegant heart-shaped cards. I don't know, maybe I thought I was going to do that, but we're using the heart-shaped bundle. So the card's not going to be heart-shaped, but we're using the heart-shaped bundle, which is one of the items you can get free during Celebration. And I forgot to pull the dies out to show you those two, but this is a little bit different because it's a bundle, which is exciting. Anyway, if you are here and joining me live, go ahead, leave me a comment. Let me know that you're joining me live. Let me know, what is your favorite way to let somebody know that you're thinking of them or to make them smile, all that kind of good stuff. Personally, I love sending cards, but maybe it's picking up the phone, maybe it's sending some chocolates or some flowers. Yeah, how do you let somebody know that you're thinking of them? All right. If you are here and watching the replay, let me know as well, because I want to know that too. And I love that y'all come later and watch the replay. Let me see what else. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're wondering who I am Heidi with Onigo Stamping. I'm going to help you reconnect with your inner artist using stamps, ink, and paper to create beautiful handmade cards and gifts. And it looks like we have lots of friends joining us tonight. Hello, Shelly and Carol and Kimberly and Shannon and Jamie and Priscilla and Dana. I am so glad y'all are here. All right, I'm going to make my screen look a little bit bigger. We're going to talk about what supplies I am using tonight. So there we go. This is the heart-shaped stamp set. And it does have coordinating dies that they make the wreath. They don't actually cut out this wreath, but they make a different wreath, which is on the other card I'm going to show you. But it will cut out these flowers. Let me see. It's like not right here. I don't know why I didn't pull it out. Like I was really into pulling everything out ahead of time tonight. And then, of course, I still forget something. Isn't that the way? And I don't know where it is. It is currently hidden from me. So anyway, there are dies. It makes a wreath. It's really cute. And you can get the stamp set and the dies, the bundle, all together with a $120 order. So that is really awesome as well. Now, with this fun stamp set, we are going to be using the Beautiful Bokeh paper. This is some new pattern paper. It is a 6x6 paper. Now, if you have been stamping a while, you might have already done the bokeh technique. It was super popular, I don't know, 20 years ago, maybe less than that. It was really, really popular, and it's a way of getting these like white dots, and that's what the bokeh is. And so one side has these bokeh patterns on it. The other side has more like, I don't know, paint and paint splatters and kind of a paint wash. So what is a little bit different about this 12x12 designer series pack is that there's still 48 sheets in it, because the 6x6 packs come with 48 sheets. But normally you get 12 different designs for each of those 12. But this one, there's 6 designs, so you get 8 each, which is kind of cool, good for making multiples of things. This is part of a suite that also includes the Beautiful Butterflies stamp set and the hybrid embossing folder and dies that go with this too. And this is really, really pretty. I'm not using this tonight, but it is gorgeous. We're going to be using this for the Stamping Cross Country online retreat, and registration is now open for that. And early bird registration ends on Thursday. So if you want to get in on that early bird registration, save a little bit of money, definitely jump over to my website and get signed up. All right. I'm also going to use the purple sequins. Those are another celebration item that you can get free with a $60 order. So, and my nose is like sniffling. So we're going to pat my nose, try not to sniffle everywhere. I'm going to start by cutting myself a piece of this DSP, and I'm using the Fresh Freesia. So I'm just pulling out my paper trimmer. I love our paper trimmer. I'm going to put this at 2 1/4, which is going to be kind of this medium-sized tick after 2 inches. So 2 1/4, and then 3 7/8. And 3 7/8 is going to be 2 little ticks below 4. So this is 2 1/4 by 3 7/8. of that Fresh Freesia Bokeh paper. And then I'm just going to set that aside for a minute. We will come back to that. My nose is still, it's like, it's just running. Excuse me. It does that to me. It's this time of year, right? when noses run for no reason. Now, I am actually not going to use the wreath from the stamp set tonight. Let me try to make that a little bit straighter. There we go. The wreath is a really awesome image, which we can see right here. But I always love to like figure out other things I can do with stamp sets. And people often ask me like, how do I choose which stamp sets to get? And I look at it and see, are there a variety of sentiments? Are there different things I can do with the stamp set? Can I create different looks with it? So I always like to think of different ways to do things. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're just going to use some of these small images. We're going to use these flowers, these little tiny leaves, and this little tiny word hello. So, and that also can be a challenge sometimes, like figuring out how to use really small images in a way that is impactful enough on a card front. The first thing I want to do, I guess not the first thing, we already cut the designer series paper. But the next thing is I'm going to use the stylish shapes. And I'm going to take the second to smallest little square and pull that out. And then I have a little scrap of white here, and I'm just going to cut this from the white. Grab my mini cut and emboss machine that is not going to fit. I pulled my camera in tonight since we were working with little tiny images, but we're not going to see very well the embossing or the die cutting here. So I have my number 1 plate and my number 2 plate. My number 2 plate is pulled down from the number 1 plate. I am going to take this and put it at an angle. Okay, the square. Whenever you're cutting a square, especially when you're die cutting it, you don't want to put it in with that flat edge going straight in. It's just really hard for your die cutting machine to get started. So I always like to start with a corner, and that's going to just start easier for you. I'm going to take my second number 2 plate and put it on top. And this, of course, is going to line up with my number 1 plate. So I'm creating that sandwich where the middle plate inside is lower than the other two. And that's just going to help, especially on the mini machine. It's going to help get it started. So I'm just going to roll that through here. There we go. Pull this out. There is my little square, and I love the little stitching on the side, which is why I grabbed those stylish shape dies, because they have that little stitching on it, which I just love. I love those dies. They're like my favorite. All right, so now I have this little teeny tiny square, and I also have a piece of Fresh Freesia. This is 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches. And I'm going to start with the flowers and some Fresh Freesia ink. And we're just going to stamp a whole bunch of flowers on here. So I'm just going to take these flowers and I'm going to stamp them everywhere. And I'm going to stamp twice. So we're going to get 2 different colors just by stamping twice on here. And I do kind of need to cover most of this. So I'm trying to turn my stamp as much as I can. You want to be careful when you've done your first stamp and you've stamped off like this. You want to be careful that you don't try to stamp that right in the middle, because I want to show you what happens on the white. You can see you get that line. Well, maybe you can't see, it's really light. But anyway, you get a dark line or part of it is darker. So you always want to be mindful of that. All right, and I'm just turning this, stamping. So when I use it a second time and I'm stamping off, I try to make sure I go further off. Let's see. And if these overlap a little bit, that is great. There's no rhyme or reason to this. We're just covering the whole thing, creating a beautiful pattern on here. And I'm just going to move my paper a little bit. Put it in there. this just takes a minute because this is a very small image. So it does take a minute. Let's do it this way. I'm trying to make it look like it is random and trying not to get things going the same direction right next to each other, which can be a little bit challenging. And also trying to fill in well. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to come right down here and right in there. Sometimes I just like to catch those edges just a little bit. So there we go. I've covered the whole piece. Fresh Freesia ink on fresh Freesia cardstock. And then I'm going to grab my little square that I cut. And I'm going to ink up those flowers again in fresh Freesia. And I'm just going to stamp them on that white square, just like that. Okay. We're all done with the fresh Freesia. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stamp the inside of my card too. So I have just a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 inch basic white. And I'm just going to stamp. Maybe we'll do the whole edge. How's that? That's kind of fun. There we go. For the inside of the card. We'll save that for later. Set my fresh Freesia aside. I'm going to grab some berry burst. So I love the way that berry burst kind of looks with fresh Freesia. Kind of a different analogous look. They're very similar in color, but different too. So I'm going to stamp the little hello, the sentiment on here in berry burst, just like that. There we go. And then to really kind of make this pop a little bit, I'm going to come in with some green. And the green, this is Old Olive. The green is almost complementary to the pink. Green and red are complementary colors. And what complementary colors are going to do is they are going to just kind of make things pop a little bit more, right? They're going to kind of make it jump off the page a little bit. So I like to add just that little bit of green on there. So there we go. Now, one thing I don't like about this stamp is that the centers are not very well defined, but we're going to fix that with embellishments. Embellishments are my go-to for making the centers of flowers look more exciting. All right. I have a card base. That hello is super, super small. It is very, very, very tiny. Very tiny. I have a card base 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 and folded in half. I'm just going to take my piece of fresh Freesia that I stamped all over, and we're just going to adhere this right to the front. And it's going to have just a little bit of a border, which I think just, I don't know. It just makes it look a little bit more finished, I feel like. I'm a layering person. I love layers. I always think more layers makes things look more finished. All right, so I have this piece of the Beautiful Bokeh paper, and then I have a piece of fresh Freesia, and this is 2 3/8 by 4 inches. So this pattern paper was 2 1/4 by 3 7/8. This is 2 3/8 by 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to line up the top. It's going to be flush at the top. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. You like that greeting? Oh, I think it's really cute. Super fun. Now, I do have another card to show you tonight. So that does use that wreath. So don't go anywhere. We got more stuff. All right. Just going to put that on there. Just like that. And then I'm going to pull out some of the gold twisted thread. I love this thread, and it is sticking around. It is back in stock. So it'd been out of stock for a little while. It's back in stock. Priscilla, you like layers too? Yeah. All right, we're just going to tie a piece of gold ribbon around here. It's not ribbon, it's twisted thread. So while I tie this, don't forget, if you have not ordered a paper share and you are looking to get a little bit of all of the papers and or all of the ribbons and embellishments in the new catalog, the online exclusive starting Tuesday, and the scrapbooking brochure starting Tuesday. Make sure you get signed up because registration for that ends tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day to get registered. So I got to get everything straightened. I got to figure out what I have to order. I want to be all ready for Tuesday when I can order everything. So I just added that little bit of gold on there. I'm going to make sure that's what I want. Up. It is. And then I'm going to adhere this. My ribbon is a little flopsy. So I'm just going to take, and once I glue it, it's probably going to be fine, but I'm just going to take it and I'm going to hold it tight on the back. And I'm just going to tape it. And that'll just tighten it up a little bit. There we go. Now this goes on my card front. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this flush up with the top of that layer of fresh freesia. And it just goes right in here to make kind of, I don't know, it's like a banner hanging down almost. And then while I got this out, I'm going to go ahead and glue my basic white to the inside. For the inside of my card, I always like to put a piece of basic white on the inside, even if I don't decorate it like I did this time. I just feel like it finishes it off, makes it look like a finished card. There we go. And then this I'm going to put on with Stampin' Dimensionals. So let me grab my dimensionals. Those are my mini dimensionals that I couldn't find the other day, and then I found them. So let me see. I'm going to avoid this corner right here because that's going to be right over that knot. So we're just not going to put a dimensional down there. That way it won't get too thick over the knot. So that'll go right in there. Pull off the backs to my dimensionals. Missed that one. Our card is almost done. This is a pretty easy one. Pretty quick and easy. There we go. Now I said we're going to add some bling, a little bit of bling. So these are the purple sequins, and I've been using them a lot. You can tell. They are purple. Kind of pink. I don't know. I think I would have called them pink sequins. I call them purple sequins, and these ones are like white. I'm going to use the ones that look very burst to me, and we're going to use the tiny ones and put them in the center to the flowers. And again, these are a celebration item. You can get them free with a $60 order, which is awesome because they're really pretty. They're nice and shiny. And they have adhesive on them, so you can just stick them down. All right. I'm going to trim these off just a little bit. They just seem a little extra long. There we go. So there is our little heart-shaped bundle card that doesn't even have that heart-shaped wreath on it, just with our little hello. And then the inside, just super sweet and simple. And then let me show you the extra card that I have, the bonus card. So this one does use that wreath, and you can see I die cut it with the dies that come in the bundle. Thank you, Elaine, for letting everyone know to give the video a thumbs up. I appreciate that. It does finish the flowers perfectly, doesn't it? So this I cut with the dies, and then I cut the little flowers out of some of that bokeh paper. So you can't really see it, but it does just add a little bit of texture to them. And I put some of those bling in the middle too. And then there's this tag that's in the die set as well. Now the background of this though, I used the Forever Plaid embossing folder, which is also sticking around. This was in the last mini catalog, and it is one of my favorite embossing folders. So I love to have the nice straight lines with the curvy softness of the flowers. I just think it sets it off well. So there we go. There are my two cards for this evening with that heart-shaped bundle. Really a fun bundle to use. All right. I got to remember what I'm doing tomorrow night. I'm going to be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern again. And I think tomorrow night we're making some birthday cards. So we're going to use the Starstruck embossing folder, which is the celebration freebie. And we're going to use it with the brand new One More Year stamp set to make some funny birthday cards that are going to be perfect for like your bestie or for guys. Like guys like funny birthday cards, right? I know most of the time we make like nature and stuff, but I feel like guys like funny stuff. So this one will be good for them too. So that's what we're going to do tonight, tomorrow night. I hope that you will come back and join me 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you have any questions or anything, just hit the comments, send me an email, let me know how I can help you. Have a great evening.